Hello traders, let me know if I'm live and the audio is working. Welcome to the show, hit the like button. This is a quick update on LPSN, starting on the daily time frame and pointing out those most important considerations. Currently trading at 1.14, down a few percent. Price action consolidating in this sideways range. You can see it more clearly on lower time frames. Here you've only had a couple of touches on the top and a couple underneath, so hard to confirm that sideways price action. You have got important other artifacts there below the 50 simple itself, below the 200 period simple moving average. You've got your monthly low in at that extreme dips you've seen recently, and then the monthly high back up at the 200 period moving average. So price action very much caught between a hard place and a hard place here at the minute. As you can see on the vertical, we've got the earnings marked out. That's November the 6th, and in and around the same period you've also got the potential for the behavior in price to change for technical considerations due to the nature of price, since it broke down and created that gap. That is the gap there, 2 touches if you include the open on the bottom side of it, and above that you've got another gap, so you'd be in a bit of an island back above there. So Los Perditos back above 238, still the target if price breaks out, but you're very much in a period of consolidation. On the RSI you can see you've had these lower lows, but you've not quite had lower lows on price. So that's the nature of a period of consolidation, that you might see that divergence. To the top side you've got a pretty clear trend line that's been broken as price has been consolidating around these levels. But it's also true to say that these are currently resistance levels back before those previous highs, the 200 period moving average, the 50% retracement and so on. So there's a lot of important difficult levels to break to the top side, and there's a lot of important support just underneath, which speaks to that consolidation. So if we go at the 4-hour time frame now and make that counter argument, you were talking about a touch of bearishness on the daily time frame, but in the 4-hour you've got like a number of touches here. It's quite obviously it found support at that low, and you've got a number of touches of resistance at that high. So if it comes up again, you'd expect 170 sort of level to be resistance, and you've got a clear level of support below. You've also got a 200 period moving average here on that 4-hour, which comes in at 96 to 98 cents, and a 50 simple back above that. So price is above a 50 simple itself, above the 200 period moving average. So you've still got a bullish posturing on price with regards to moving averages and the near term trend on the 4-hour, whereas you don't quite yet have that on the daily time frame. And I say you don't yet because, just go back to the daily, price has not actually managed to break above the 200 period moving average. On the first test of it there was a rejection. Subsequently it's been fighting to recover the 50 simple. It typically would do that at a horizontal level of support, which is what you find it doing at the minute. And so if this does prove to be true, that this is the current low on price, and you're looking for where would then price go and test next, well, it'd be up at resistance, and we've clearly made that point for this show throughout it, that support and resistance is what we're looking at right now, and where they are and why. There's an inflection point coming, that's on the 6th of November. There's other important dates around there, events in the world calendar, and with less than a month to the US elections, it is possible that you could see a degree of volatility. So that volatility coming in at an important event for LivePerson specifically itself, a period of volatility that matches up with the technical nature of price subsequent to a breakout. And then at this moment in time, we're looking at a period of consolidation, which you would typically find in advance of that breakout. So the question is, in this period of consolidation, is it accumulation or distribution? One of the big factors that you would use to make your mind up is the previous behavior in price. That's a reversal formation. You could then be looking at a touch of rotational symmetry at this point. It could even stretch out a degree longer through a period of consolidation. You've got a heartbeat pattern there. It may well be that you're looking at that happening in and around these sort of areas. So previous price action suggests that price could continue that behaviour on the breakout, so the direction it took in the period just beforehand was towards the top side, and so if it is to break out afterwards, you'd be looking at a continuation of that move. And then you might also look at the important areas of support and resistance, which we've been talking about on a macro level being this important gap, and back above it being Los Perdidos. And the danger of price going through another period of consolidation, which looks as though, or threatens to offer up better value than it ever ultimately does. You know, so you get people having conversations with you saying like, oh, it might only be an entry if it manages to achieve X, Y, and Z. And they're constantly caught in that loop of never being able to take action because they're psychologically affected by missing this area. And so they'll go through that sort of thing over and over again, expecting there to be a retest of where they originally would like to have entered, but they weren't able to. And so that can dominate much of the dangerously informed crowd. You know, those people who have a rough understanding of what's going on but are not a really good one, only are able to articulate their own hopes and fears in such a sophisticated way that it confuses other people and makes them think they're doing real TA when they aren't. Right, so you've got a moving average crossover, which is also holding the center line here. That's a positive sign. You're doing something similar on the RSI on the center line here. Again, this is a 4-hour time frame. A lot more candle open closes included here than on the daily, but that's because I was making simpler points on that more important time frame here. You've got a touch of bullish divergence at the most recent lows. That's when price approached that 200 period moving average. It's held it since it went through it. This is the first test. You would have expected that to happen. Subsequently recovering a 50 simple does also lead to a period of consolidation. So all of these things match up, and you'd have to be cognizant then of a potential danger in this suggested in head and shoulders here, which could lead to a breakdown. You'd be talking about deep retracements on that if that was a full formation breakdown. But just true to the nature of price beforehand, that this isn't an established uptrend when you're talking about that type of formation, then it's good for informing you with regards to good value in the period of consolidation, which again suggests anywhere around that 200 period moving average being a potentially good buy. So back to the 200 period moving average on the daily time frame, up at around 140. The 618 golden pocket previous high up at around 170. 382 where you most recently tested at 1.03. If you break down, you've got a diagonal trend line which has already had 3 touches. Move this guy over and then drop a third one on there to make the point. We've already had 3 touches, so that's a real trend line. You could potentially expect to see it find some support, and if it was to go through a catastrophic breakdown at this point now, even then, in worst case scenario, you'd expect a test of that trend line and a bounce, which is confluent with 236. So the most extreme negative scenario at the minute, you might be looking at that area around those prices. Ahead of that, you've got a lot of important areas to look to. If price does manage to escape this period of consolidation in advance of earnings, then you might anticipate price making a strong sharp move up and testing that golden pocket again. If it is to approach this downward slope and diagonal, then the big volatility move might come just afterwards. With regards to volatility, we've seen a little bit of an increase there after it gave off the signal, the big bug signal that we talked about the other day. That's building up to giving it on more significant time frames now, and it looks like there could be a really big move in LPSN. So after a period of consolidation, all the technicals matching up, it may well be that you're seeing big breakouts, big volatility, and a little bit of excitement coming back to price. There's also been awards. LivePerson loves winning awards. This is an article from PR Newswire. Good to get that good news out there, and I'll leave a link to this article in the description below. You can also find it on Discord, which is where it was pointed out to me by good people over there. And to summarize it, it's a conversation about LivePerson affirming that they're a leader in the digital first consumer customer interactions realm, and it's been named a leader in multiple categories for G2's fall 2024 grid report, and includes everything from customer service, conversational marketing, chatbots, bot platforms, large platform chat, live chat, all that sort of deal, right? LivePerson absolutely cleaning the board on all of its USPs, standing out across above all the competition. G2 itself is the world's largest software marketplace, and all these rankings it uses to determine which company wins isn't based on some very small group of people who select and determine these by a review, nor is it in any way paid. It's all based on feedback from their own users, and it's the largest of its kind in the world, and it gives honest feedback from its users. And they've ranked LivePerson as the absolute best option in all of these potential categories. So that's a significant award for LivePerson. And do we necessarily see that having an impact on the price charts? No, of course not. Immediately, that's the sort of thing that feeds through to confidence in their customers, who themselves, it's been pointed out a number of times in the previous earnings call and other discussions, the fireside chat that John Sabino, the CEO, had recently, that confidence in the longevity of LivePerson services provides for security in a customer relationship, which is expected to last 5, 8, 10, 15 years. And so the more awards that LivePerson gets like this, the better. The fact that it's always been winning them means that it needs more than simply that alone to have a material impact on price. And that route to having that impact on price is through customer acquisition and customer retention. Customer retention, that's going up. We talked in the most recent video about the job postings, or was it on Discord? I think it was on Discord. Again, check it out. It's free to be on the LivePerson hype thread, and for a small fee you can upgrade, be on Rocky's Patreon, get all the indicator suite along with the paid side on Discord. So the first place to go is www.discord.gg/rockyoutcrop, and then to upgrade it's patreon.com/rockyoutcrop. Right, so you do that, it motivate me to be here doing this more often, and it would build a stronger community. So definitely think about doing those options. Right, so this is the LivePerson daily time frame. We talked about the customer retention, customer acquisition, the job posting discussion we had on Discord with regards to finding person to fill a role that articulates the best business use case for each of the main LivePerson clients, helping explore and find new avenues for them to increase their revenue, delivering better value from the service LivePerson offers, and then detailing these use cases to better upsell or better integrate or better demonstrate and help clients understand how they can get the most out of LivePerson. So they're focused on all the right buttons, they're pushing them at all the right times, they're managing expectations. We've got earnings coming up on the 6th of November. We've other important world events at the same time. Volatility will be breaking out at the same time as we get clarity with regards to LivePerson's future ourselves. And so we're in the same boat then as LivePerson's customers, and also we're in the same boat as the management team. We all share in this journey together. They're incentivized through the share price performance. Customers themselves will be benefiting from seeing that rise. That allows easier financing options for LivePerson, which will allow them to increase their operational effectiveness, which drives a more growth-orientated focus, which will help on the multiples, which will help on the share price, which helps the management, which benefits the customers long term. And all of these things are the focus of the new board. Proper revolution going through here. Transformation Junkie, they're really getting this camper van up and running. So that's the daily look and the 4-hour with an update on the news for LivePerson. And thank you very much, Sebastian Alexander. Welcome to Fiend level membership. Welcome, Seb. Thanks everybody else for being here. Thanks everybody who's a member. And have we got anything else here? Don't see any updates. Let me check the chat box. Did we get any donations I should cover? I don't think so. Okay, so that'll be the end of the show then. Thanks very much for watching. Rocky on tomorrow. It was great watching the show last week. He covered everything in such good detail. And if you're looking for a really good resource and you don't know about or haven't checked out Rocky recently, definitely have a look for his channel on YouTube. It's Rocky Outcrop. It's super easy to find. He's the person who runs the Discord, my brother, and also a former trader. He knows what he's doing on the markets, and he's a really good resource. He's your constant should anything go wrong or you not find me. He's on the same time every day, of every Wednesday, every week. Make sure to check it out. It's tomorrow on his channel, and it's great to see everybody tuning in there. The more the merrier. So thank you very much. Hopefully we get some more support for the brothers over the next couple of days. Been good chatting to you. See